Alright, green chilli sauce. My dear friend Lyndon Sparrow has given me about 230 grams of homegrown chilies, and all I simply do with those is just pull the stalks off like that, and then I'll chop those up and we'll get those into a saucepan in a minute. The other ingredients are, I need a couple of bottles in which to bottle it, sterilised bottles. They're about 250ml bottles. There's about 250ml of white vinegar there. There's a 30-gram pack of coriander which I've just pulled out my freezer. Likewise, scotch bonnet pepper which I've just pulled out my freezer. Half an onion, about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic, and because I'm working with chilies, I like to add a little bit of sugar whenever I'm working with chilies to balance the flavour of the chilies. So this will be a bottle in green chilli sauce. Okay, the first thing I want to do is get the chilies, the onion and the garlic all chopped up into small parts. So I've got the onion in the pan already, all chopped up, and I'm just putting in these green spur chilies now, chopping those up, getting them in the pan, and everything goes in the pan. And we also need to chop up the coriander, and the coriander needs chopping up. What I do is I put everything in, put the stalks, everything there that's edible into the pan. In goes the scotch bonnet pepper and the garlic, the sugar, and I'll just get this coriander chopped up, and that will go in as well. You don't need to be too clever because this is all getting liquidized anyway at the end of the cooking process. Okay, once we got all that in, I want to put in my vinegar. Now, that's 250ml of vinegar at normal strength, which is around about 2.5 pH. We want to reduce that to about 1.25 pH, so we need to put in an equal amount of water. So I'm going to put in some filtered water, 250ml of filtered water. In goes the water. Now I just need some salt in there. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon of salt, and we'll taste that once it starts to cook. And I need to get that on the heat now and bring that to the boil and then simmer it for about 15 minutes. Okay, once that comes to a boil, we can turn it down now to a simmer, a fairly fast simmer. So my total range is about 6, and I'm going to knock it down to about 3 for the simmer. So a fairly fast simmer, and it can simmer with the lid on for around about 15 minutes. So there we go, it's been simmering for about 15 minutes. The next thing I want to do is just take that off the heat, allow it to cool a little bit, and then we'll blitz it with a liquidizer. So there we go, I've got it on a stand, it's cooling down. I'm using my hand blender, and I'm going to go in there and give that a good blitz. Now it's entirely up to you how long you want to blitz it for, but I like this particular sauce rather smooth, so I'm going to keep going at it for a bit. If you don't have a hand blender, all you need to do is decant it into your liquidizer and blitz it from there. Okay, so I've blitzed it to a fairly smooth consistency. Now I'm just going to give it the taste test. Don't go too mad because it might be super strong. That's quite strong. In fact, it's rather strong, that is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little more sugar to that. So I'm going to go in with 2 heaped teaspoons of sugar. I'll give that a blitz and then we'll have another taste test. So in we go with the taste test. That's where it wants to be with regard to sweetness and sourness. I'm just going to add a little more salt, about another teaspoon of salt I think. It's important to get this taste testing right. Get this right and you'll have a great bottled sauce. Another spoon, another taste test. Yeah, that's right there. It tastes a little bit like Frank's, which is rather nice. And it's a testament to the quality of the chilies grown by my friend Lyndon. And it's just, spiciness has been peaked up a little bit by the addition of that scotch bonnet pepper. But it really is a nice sauce, and I know that that will mellow as it's bottled into something quite spectacular. Right, at this stage we want to think about bottling, and one of the things that happens when you bottle things long term is that they tend to separate and the sediment will sink to the bottom and the vinegar will float on the top. So what we need to do is we stabilise that with a little bit of xanthan gum. Okay, to stabilise it I'm going to use this xanthan gum, and for that amount I'm only going to need about 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum, so that should be perfectly enough. And then what I'll do is I'll mix that in properly with my blender and then we can get bottling. Okay, I like to bottle it while it's still hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first transfer it to a jug. A bit at a time, and then get bottling. Leave a little bit at the top, something like that. Close it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that away for about a couple of weeks, maybe a month before I start using it. Give it a chance for the flavours to really develop. And that particular bottle, that's going to my friend Lyndon for giving me the peppers, and I hope he enjoys it. So there we go, green chili pepper sauce. Enjoy. Hey friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you would like to follow my channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications for all my future videos. It would be great to hear from you in the comments, and I'll try to get back to as many of you as possible. You may wish to check out these titles or even help me out with a donation using the links in the description below the video. Thanks for watching.